Look guys, I'm not saying that there is a curse, but at some point, patterns deserve to be looked at, you know. Have you seen the news? Anthony Joshua has now confirmed to his family that he is retiring from boxing. Now I don't know, it seems like every time someone steps in the ring with big old Jakey Paul, something strange seems to happen after the fight every single time. You know, the Jake Paul, Nate Robinson fight, for an example. One fight, one brutal knockout, and he never boxed again. His career literally finished overnight. And you know, we had Ben Askren, who literally suffered a life-threatening medical collapse literally just after the fight. It was like a double lung transplant. And again, listen, I'm not saying it was caused by the fight. I'm just pointing out some patterns. And then, you know, we had Tyrone Woodley, who had 2 fights, 2 losses, never really fought professionally ever again, and then publicly spoke out about being in financial bankruptcy, and then, you know, disappeared from elite competitions entirely. Then we had, you know, the Chavez Jr. Jake Paul fight where, you know, just after this fight, things spiraled massively, legal issues, chaos, no real comeback at all, and Chavez Jr. got deported out of the country. Even, you know, Tommy Fury, the man who beat Jake Paul, after the fight, the momentum was completely gone. His personal life had a lot of abruption. I think he lost his wife, and, you know, his career has completely been on stalled ever since. No rise, no takeover, just complete silence. And now people are saying that Anthony Joshua may never fight again. Now, we've had no official statements yet, just reports, whispers, and a little bit of silence. But like I said, one fight with Jake Paul, and suddenly, you know, the conversation isn't about titles or comebacks. It's about walking away every single time. Again, I'm not saying that this is a curse. I'm just saying it's strange how often the same pattern here keeps repeating. If it was on a Netflix documentary, we would definitely be asking questions. It seems you have one fight, one big spotlight moment, and then suddenly all of your doors seems to close. Coincidence? Maybe. We know it was a tragedy what happened to Anthony Joshua. My heart goes out to him and his family and anyone involved. But at some point, people are allowed to ask questions. But obviously, once again, beautiful people, this was all just for entertainment, and I'm as fictional as a dinosaur, baby.
Anthony Joshua has retired according to his uncle. Now, apparently there's an interview out there, I'm not too sure what platform it is, where his uncle says Anthony Joshua's done. Personally, you know, I think a lot of people will be like, hey, we can't blame you or anything like that. Do we believe it? We have to wait until it comes out of Joshua's mouth himself, is what I would say, you know. I don't believe it until I've seen him directly say it. Obviously, he's done so much for boxing, and I feel like he don't get the credit he deserves, 100%. You know, he doesn't get the credit he deserves. And we're all obviously hoping for that one finale fight with him versus Tyson Fury. Now, we don't know, you know. We've seen Tyson Fury say he's retired and then he's back in again. Maybe AJ is retired, but he'll come back again. We don't know. Either way, right now, I'm sure his head is not, you know, focused on boxing right now. It's probably focused on healing, you know what I'm saying?
When I said the other day that religion makes people dumb, this is what I meant. So this is how Anthony Joshua survived the accident. You call this survival? He's going to have to give up his career. Early retirement. That survival? Really? He's going to live with survivor's guilt. This is lifetime trauma, not survival. Nigerians happened to him. Our dangerous, indiscriminate road use put 2 people's lives in danger. God didn't save him. Unless God is wicked and wants him to have a lifetime of trauma. If we want to push the narrative that God saved him, then he wouldn't have left home in the first place. He wouldn't have been in that accident in the first place.
It's actually a devastating news to hear that Anthony Joshua is set to retire from boxing after the accident that took the life of his 2 best friends. It's really, really shocking, at the same time heartbreaking, that he's going to give up. Give up on the boxing, something that he loves so much. It's almost like his identity. He's going to just give all that up because of that traumatic event that took the life of not just his friends. These are more like Anthony Joshua's brother. It's really, really hard to think about, you know. But this is the thing, right? This is another form of Nigeria happening to him. Yes, he survived the accident. But the accident is actually going to take something from him. Something so huge. Anthony Joshua will have to live with the guilt for the rest of his life. Anthony Joshua will have to live with the trauma for the rest of his life. Anthony Joshua will have to live with the pain for the rest of his life. It's just like a tattoo on Anthony Joshua's skin. He will have to carry that pain all the days of his life. Yes, he survived the accident, but has he survived the trauma? I don't think he will survive the trauma. Has he survived the heartbreak, the pain, the anger, the regret that comes with that particular accident that took the life of his two friends? I don't think he will. But then, it is what it is. It's quite unfortunate, honestly. Only God and Anthony Joshua knows what he'll be going through right now and what he will have to go through for the rest of his life. Anthony Joshua giving up boxing career at that age because of that particular ugly situation. I just hope and pray that he finds rest and find peace, honestly, and somehow find a way to deal with his trauma.
I'm happy that Anthony Joshua will retire from boxing, and here's why. I don't know if he's actually retired for good. I don't know if he's going to come back and do like a dedication fight, but if you're around boxing, if you watch boxing, you know what went on. Tragic loss of both of his coaches, or at least two of his camp, two of his coaches, two of his friends. I'm happy he retired because he needs to mentally not worry about boxing. Like, I don't think people understand how tragic that can be. I honestly think this is the best thing he could have did from his mental health, because who knows what he's even going through right now. That is one of the most tragic things that can happen to you in your lifetime. Not only because you lost two of your friends, but also because like you were involved and that could have also been you. So I'm very happy he retired, because I think it's going to be very good for his mental health. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, but it wouldn't shock me if we see him come out of retirement. I would love to see him maybe do like a dedicated fight to them down the road, of course. But yeah, it just makes sense to do this in my opinion. But yeah, it was suck having Anthony Joshua away from the sport, especially after finally ending the Jake Paul reign of like boxing, dismantling him, breaking his jaw in two places. But I mean,